I am here, Dr. Chavi Sehgal, Associate Professor in MLB Medical College, Jhansi, and we'll discuss the case of fracture neck femur or any other case posted for any orthopedic surgery. So, getting straight away with the case, I'm presenting a 68-year-old male with history of fall 2 days back and past history revealed hypertension for the last 10 years, taking medications like atenolol, rosuvastatin, and he presents to the emergency department. Trauma was sustained by simple slipping in the bathroom, and that resulted in excruciating pain, and he was rushed to emergency. So that is the history. Then examination, patient was conscious. Blood pressure again was at a higher side, maybe due to pain. 170 by 100, pulse rate higher side, 94 per minute, and a swelling was noticed in the right lower extremity. Respiratory and cardiovascular system normal limit में थे, and then investigations, hemoglobin, TLC, platelet, RBS were all within normal limits. Urea 60, creatinine 1.8, again within normal limits. Sodium, potassium, electrolytes were done. Serum albumin was taken and it was again within normal limit. ECG, however, showed left ventricular hypertrophy. Maybe patient was hypertensive from the last from a decade at least. 2D echo showed diastolic dysfunction with ejection fraction of 58. So ejection fraction was normal. So what are the goals of management? First is proper immobilization at the fracture site, and it should be at prompt surgical fixation. So two types of surgeries are proposed, either head conserving or replacement surgery, which are now increasingly being performed. So joint replacement is now the growing demand and is now performed as ambulatory surgeries as a fast track system. Then coming to the preoperative assessment, which is naturally anesthetist is called for. Patient posted for orthopedic surgeries have a broad spectrum of problems, as on one hand we have elderly with several comorbidities and other young patients which are usually as a result of trauma, and usually the polytrauma patients are there. Then again, age of the elderly is not a deterrent factor for surgery. However, their limited end organ reserve makes them a crucial patient for us. So what should be our approach? Our approach should be a multidisciplinary approach, which we will discuss in the further slides. But in the preoperative assessment, history is very important, that what are the chronic conditions that this elderly is dealing with, and what impact of anesthesia, because they will have an impact on anesthesia which we have to give. Now, one very important condition of geriatric patients is osteoporosis. This is most common in postmenopausal females. What is it? It is disproportionate loss of the trabecular bone, which leads them to stress fractures. Now, these geriatric patients are at increased risk of minimal impact trauma, like in our patient, a simple slippage in the bathroom resulted in such a fracture, a major fracture, fracture neck femur. Bones at risk again are hand, hip, spine, knee, and foot. Second most common condition is osteoarthritis. It is simple loss of articular cartilage or inflammation, which leads to pain, reduced mobility of the joints or deformed joints, like we have the Herbiden and the Bouchard nodes in this picture shown. But this is important, that osteoarthritis has no systemic manifestation. It is important only for the positioning during regional. Then coming to rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is joint synovitis or bone erosion, what we say, which leads to loss of joint integrity, and clinical feature is early morning stiffness for an hour. पेशेंट बोलता है कि सुबह जब उठते हैं तब हमको उठने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है, एंड देन आफ्टर एन आवर व्हेन दे रिज्यूम द नॉर्मल डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज़ देन दे फील अ बिट नॉर्मल. बॉगी टेंडर जॉइंट्स होते हैं, rheumatoid nodules जिनको हम बोलते हैं. And then this is important, that rheumatoid is a systemic disease with exacerbations and remissions, like patient may be suffering from pericarditis, pleuritis, pneumonitis, pulmonary hypertension, and these patients can be on severe chronic drugs like NSAIDs. They can be side effect of NSAIDs like gastric ulcers, renal complications. They can be on regular glucose corticoids, so they will be needing a stress dose of glucocorticoids. when posted for surgery. And disease modified anti-rheumatic drugs, they may be taken like methotrexate and leflunomide, but these are immunomodulators, so they increase the risk of infection. Then ankylosing spondylitis. Ankylosing spondylitis is again an autoimmune disorder in which there is fusion of the axial skeleton from the SI joint to the cervical. So whole of the spine is involved. Loss of spinal mobility, and this disease makes the airway challenging because they may be suffering from TMJ synovitis. Limited mouth opening होती है इनकी. Damaged cricoarytenoid joints, so they have a narrow glottis, these people, and that can interfere with the passage of endotracheal tube. Cervical spine arthritis, which on manipulation of the head during endotracheal intubation can lead to quadriparesis. So what should we do? We should obtain a pre-op cervical flexion extension radiographs and can plan for awake fiber optic intubation. Again, if we go for regional anesthesia in this patient, it is again a very technically difficult patient because they have ossified ligaments. Access to central axial blockade is very difficult. And if we prefer GA, then also there is elective need for mechanical ventilation because there is rigidity of the thoracic spine because of the fusion of the ligaments. Then many changes are seen in every system of the body in pediatric patients. We should be familiar while dealing with them. First, we'll talk about the cardiovascular changes. On one side, we have an aging artery, and other side we have a fibrotic myocytes. So there is decreased contractility of the heart as well as atherosclerosis in the peripheral arteries, which will increase the systemic vascular resistance. So we can relate it that way. So what we have? We have a heart that is decreased beta receptor responsiveness in times of stress, a weak heart. And that can, if there are rapid fluid shifts, they can lead to conduction delays, arrhythmias and ectopics. It's very difficult to handle. Usually the left ventricular compliance is decreased because it is a very weak heart, and we have usually increased left ventricular and diastolic pressures, and systolic and diastolic dysfunction coexist. So these patients have heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. Like in our patient, we have seen that diastolic dysfunction was there in echo, but ejection fraction was preserved. So implication is this, that we should use the fluid administration should be judicious because we are having a non-compliant heart and blood vessels both, and they cannot tolerate any degree of hypovolemia or exaggerated transfusions. So consider fluid administration carefully. Then in the respiratory system, we have a barrel-shaped chest because of loss of elastic recoil and loss of the height of the vertebrae and the rib cage. And this barrel-shaped chest is has a decreased chest wall compliance. So work of breathing is increased because chest wall की compliance क्यों कम हो जाती है? क्योंकि there is loss of elastin and collagen, तो उसकी work of breathing बढ़ जाएगा. लंग की compliance बढ़ जाती है. So there is early collapse of the smaller airways, which leads to air trapping and hyperinflated lungs. Then coming to another very important aspect, that these patients, their ventilatory response to hypoxia and hypercapnia is impaired. So they usually land up in serious issues related to respiratory. जो कॉम्पेंसेटरी रिस्पॉन्सेज होते हैं वो बहुत इम्पेयर्ड होते हैं. जैसे उसमें बीटा एड्रेनर्जिक रिसेप्टर हार्ट की कम होती है रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस, ऐसे ही यहाँ पर भी रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस टू हाइपोक्सिया एंड हाइपरकैप्निया बोथ इज इम्पेयर्ड. Lung volume changes are this, that FEV1 is decreased by 6 to 8% per decade. TLC and FRC पे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है. Residual volume increases by 5 to 10% per decade. And closing capacity is very important. It increases with age and encroaches on the FRC. 44 years तक we assume, it is all given in the books, that FRC is always more than the closing capacity. Closing capacity is the residual volume at which the smaller airways tend to close by themselves. So when the closing capacity increases, there's a lot of VQ mismatch that takes place. So these patients are very prone to this. Then renal and hepatic, again there is decrease in the GFR by 10% per decade. So fluid handling is very poor. They were very poor tolerators of dehydration and fluid overload. And in hepatic, there is decrease in the liver size, decrease in the hepatic blood flow, and also the metabolic processes are all delayed. In the nervous system, aging or memory decline is there, which affects the activities of daily living. So there can be cognitive issues of dementia, delirium, and depression. Both three of them illnesses patient can be suffering from. Incidence of depression is much more than dementia and delirium. So what if the patient is suffering from cognitive issues? There are ethical issues of consent कि हम consent किससे लेंगे for anesthesia and surgery. So इसमें the concept of informed consent in these patients where cognitive issues are there, we have surrogate or advanced directive principles. Like a patient can write a will that if I have to go a surgery at a certain age, this and this person or so and so will give consent for me. Previously only when he or she has the ability to understand things. Okay, because autonomy here it's very important. You should know that autonomy needs mental competence to understand the complexity and gravity of the current situation and its related consequences. Patient should be have mental competence for giving consent. Okay. Then other technique related issues are there. If the patient is suffering from cognitive disorder, patient cooperation is a must for regional. How will you ensure a position for regional if the patient is not obeying your commands? And pain management, patient controlled analgesia is out of question in these patients. फ्रेलिटी एक हमने निकाला है, इंडेक्स ऑफ फंक्शनल रिजर्व ऑफ दैट पेशेंट. इसके क्या कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं? फ्रेलिटी इंडेक्स होता है इसकी इसकी ये बताता है फिजियोलॉजिक रिजर्व उस पर्सन का. बिकॉज अगर ज़्यादा होता है तो पर्सन इज़ मोर वनरेबल टू डिसेबिलिटी ड्यूरिंग एंड आफ्टर स्ट्रेस. And it is frailty index is a poor prognostic indicator itself. इसके components होते हैं 3. First we'll look at the criteria. Weight loss, exhaustion, physical activity limited, walk time कम होता है, and grip strength is poor. And components is fatigue, weight loss, and weaknesses. So this is an index of functional reserve of the patient. Then coming to investigations. What all investigations we should ask the patient to go? Investigations are usually for the assessment of comorbidities. First is the CBC, hemoglobin, TLC, DLC, ESR, platelet count, RBS. Then cardiopulmonary includes chest X-ray, PFTs, ABGs, SpO2, resting ECG, 2D echo, and stress tests are there. Renal, serum creatinine, blood urea, electrolytes, airway and spine for the range of limb and neck movements, and assessment for positioning on the table for regional blockade to be made. Then coming to risk assessment. Risk assessment is done on 3 factors. ASA, these patients will not be of ASA 1 and 2. Very less number of patients are there. Mainly these patients suffer from comorbidities and they are of ASA 3 and 4. If the surgery is elective or urgent, or whether this type of surgery, जो major surgeries होती हैं, replacement surgeries, whether they are treated with major blood loss and fluid shifts. So risk is related with the sum of underlying comorbidities, then with the chronological age of the patient. And functional reserve, जो frailty index है, that will decide whether the patient will be able to handle the stress of anesthesia and surgery. इसको हम ऐसे समझ सकते हैं कि अगर जैसे एक 70 years का मेल है और उसको कोमोबिडिटी नहीं है, जैसे कि हमारे पेशेंट को ओनली हाइपरटेंसिव है वो फॉर 10 years एंड दैट टू लिमिटेड है, ही इज टेकिंग द मेडिकेशन फॉर इट, तो इनको रिस्क कम होगी बजाय इसके एक 62 या 65 ईयर का मेल है एंड ही हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ कोमोबिडिटीज. ओके, सो एज अलोन इज कैनॉट डिटरमाइन द रिस्क असेसमेंट नहीं कर सकते. और वी शुड नॉट फोर्स द पेशेंट टू गो फॉर नॉन इन्वेसिव कार्डिक टेस्टिंग because it rarely changes management in the orthopedic surgery, and morbidity is not decreased by preoperative coronary interventions. Secondly, restenosis is an added risk if anticoagulants are discontinued before surgery, and perioperative bleeding is increased if they are not stopped. So we will discuss this further in the further slides. So what should be the ideal time for surgery? Ideal time क्या रहता है? It should be within the 48 hours of admission. ये important है. अगर हम 48 आवर्स के बाद सर्जरी प्लान कर रहे हैं, हम कोमोबिडिटीज़ को ही स्टेबलाइज करने में लग गए हम लोग, तो देन वी आर इंक्रीजिंग द मोबिडिटी एंड पोस्ट ऑपरेटिव कॉम्प्लिकेशंस. सो व्हाट शुड बी डन? द आंसर इज हीमोडायनेमिक स्ट्रेस रिडक्शन कर सकते हैं हमको. पेशेंट एक स्ट्रेसफुल पीरियड है, यू कैन यूज़ अ बीटा ब्लॉकर हाई रिस्क पेशेंट में, but the targeted heart rate should be less than 80 beats per minute. Then coming to preoperative preparation, preoperative traction, the orthopedics personnel will do. What we important for us is oxygen therapy for first 48 hours, जो एक crucial period है जिसमें investigations we are performing and stabilizing the patient. बिकॉज हाइपोक्सीमिया इज़ अ प्रोग्नोस्टिक फैक्टर. अगर हाइपोक्सीमिया हो जाता है पेशेंट को उस पर्टिकुलर ड्यूरेशन में, देन दैट लीड्स टू पुअर प्रोग्नोसिस. देन लार्ज बोर IV एक्सेस लेंगे, ब्लड अवेलेबल होना चाहिए, DVT प्रोफाइलैक्सिस, एंटीबायोटिक, प्रिवेंशन ऑफ प्रेशर सोर्स करेंगे बिकॉज टू डिक्रीज द रिस्क ऑफ DVT. दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दीज पेशेंट्स आर ऑन मल्टीपल मेडिकेशन before, so we should know the areas and of this polypharmacy which the patient is on, and these patients suffer from chronic pain syndromes like arthritis, which I've already discussed before. So what should be the intraoperative management of total hip replacement? Approach जो लेते हैं, usually surgeons take anterior or lateral approach and patient is in lateral decubitus, but this position is precarious because it leads to increased VQ mismatch, especially if the patient is obese. Then secondly, we have to prevent the pressure points of axillary artery and brachial plexus like shown in the figure. We have to place a roll or a pad beneath the upper thorax like is shown. This is shown is it is shown in the figure. Like proper positioning and padding is necessary. Then technique of anesthesia. This is the question of the hour, that no anesthetic plan is superior. Both regional and general anesthesia has their own pros and cons. First, coming to the regional anesthesia, like we know epidural space area is decreased in the elderly, permeability of the dura mater is increased, CSF volume कम हो जाती है, तो dose requirement इनके कम रहते हैं geriatric patients के. So for a given volume of CNB, there is more cephalic spread, a shorter time of onset and duration of the block. This slide shows the advantages and the disadvantages का वे कर रहे हैं हम regional anesthesia की. This is a very important slide and it shows you how regional anesthesia has an advantage. It surely has an advantage over general anesthesia because first main advantage is mental status आप assess कर सकते हो persistently, ठीक है. Then secondly, there is increase in the vascular flow, there is decreased chances of DVT and decreased chances of pulmonary embolism in the post-op period. Decreased surgical blood loss because there is decreased venous pressure because you have given a spinal, there is peripheral vasodilatation. Okay, opioid sparing है regional anesthesia, no airway instrumentation, so there are decreased chances of post-operative cognitive dysfunction. Increased preemptive or post-op analgesia. This is very important. The concept of preemptive analgesia is nowadays the important. You should know that in the whole of the perioperative period, we block the sensation of pain before they start or ensue. So and we continue it in the intraop and the post-operative period. So the answer to this is regional anesthesia and early mobilization. While disadvantages, patient obviously refuses if a proper position नहीं बना पा रहे हो, hemodynamically unstable है patient, early wear off हो जाता है and multiple body surgery cannot be done. Types of regional anesthesia, a quick review, subarachnoid block is here, then epidural anesthesia and CSC of course. Peripheral nerve blocks में we can perform a 3-in-1 block or a lumbar plexus block. Then spinal anesthesia, the bread and butter of anesthesiologist. What we need is a profound block up till T10 and that is achieved by a small amount of local anesthetic. That is the beauty of spinal over epidural. But main challenge here is to control the intrathecal spread of local anesthesia. अगर हम hyperbaric solution use कर रहे हैं तो hyperbaric local anesthetic usually sink while hypobaric swim in a way that the level of spread depends on interaction of density of local anesthetic with the patient posture. Here we are showing the midline approach or the sitting position at L2 L3 interspace. We can easily puncture under full asepsis and 3.5 ml of 0.5% hyperbaric bupivacaine can be injected. Then This is the lateral position. In the lateral position, we can use an hypobaric solution, and how to create it by adding 1.5 ml of distilled water with the isobaric bupivacaine. Then spinal anesthesia, जब हम lateral position में देते हैं, then we keep the hip schedule for surgery upwards, ठीक है, because its position is very important in this. Okay, then epidural anesthesia, we all know LOR technique से लेते हैं, and we introduce the catheter markings है, and then we remove the Tiohai needle. This is the femoral nerve block. The femoral nerve supplies the hip joint, and other nerves are obturator nerve, superior gluteal nerve, inferior gluteal nerve, nerve to quadratus femoris, and the sciatic nerve. Femoral nerve can be blocked by nerve stimulation techniques. We palpate the inguinal ligament and mark it, and then we palpate the femoral artery 2 to 3 centimeter below the inguinal ligament, and then as you can see femoral nerve in the yellow, and we can inject 10 ml of local anesthetic by eliciting paresthesia. So the root value is important, L2, 3, 4. Then ultrasonographic, we can see honeycomb appearance of the nerve, and here यहाँ पर needle is inserted in an angle of 45 degree, and after careful aspiration local anesthetic can be injected. Then facial ICA technique में we insert the needle in the we palpate the inguinal ligament and femoral artery, and then at the junction of medial 2/3 and lateral 1/3, needle is inserted in cephalad direction, and two pops are formed, facial ATA and facial ICA, and after careful aspiration 38 to 40 ml of local anesthetic is given. यहाँ पर both of the nerves, femoral nerve and lateral femoral cutaneous nerve, both are blocked, but a large volume is needed. Lateral femoral cutaneous nerve block, again we feel for the anterior superior iliac spine, और उसके 2 centimeter medial and 2 centimeter distal. I hope you can appreciate here the needle in this figure. Yes, it is there. You can appreciate ASIS, and then 2 centimeter medial and distal. We give the we give 10 to 15 ml of local anesthetic, ठीक है, and here the root value is L1, 2 and 3. Then lumbar plexus block, again lumbar plexus is formed by the anterior primary rami of L1, 2, 3 and 4, and it blocks femoral nerve, obturator nerve, lateral femoral cutaneous nerve and sciatic nerve. Here what we do, we place the patient in lateral decubitus position and draw the intercrystal line at the level of L4. Intercrystal line joining the both of the iliac crests, and then secondly we draw a interspinous line. Both are parallel as we can see in the figure. Then what we do, we again draw a line from the posterior superior iliac spine in the cephalad direction parallel to the first line, and they intersect at medial 2/3 and lateral 1/3, like we can see in the figure. Okay, and 10 to 15 centimeter needle is then given, and medial 2/3 and lateral 1/3 के intersection पर needle is advanced, and we less than 3 centimeter past depth पर ही we contact the transverse process until motor response of quadriceps is elicited, and we inject 30 ml of local anesthetics. But this is a very risky block. It can lead to LA toxicity because there is a large volume of drug, retroperitoneal damage, and total spinal भी हो सकता है. Then coming to general anesthesia issues, bleeding can be reduced here by moderate hypotension. आपको induced hypotension anesthesia देना पड़ेगा with the help of several drugs. Delayed emergence हो सकती है from general anesthesia because of the residual effect of the delayed elimination, which we'll study in the next slides, and maintenance of normothermia. Then there's a controversy of GA. It is seen that if we give general anesthesia, it increases the incidence of senile dementia, and APP gene, this gene causes apoptosis in the adults, geriatric patients basically. Then coming to advantages of general anesthesia, but that is a matter of research. It is an early onset, as long as we can need it. Multiple surgeries मिल सकती हैं, positive pressure ventilation दे रहे हो आप, ठीक है, and greater patient acceptance. Disadvantage again is hemodynamic alterations होते हैं, neurologic examination नहीं कर सकते हम, and airway instrumentation is also important, ठीक है. So these are the disadvantage. Then coming to physiologic changes in elderly and effect on pharmacokinetics of the drug. This chart is important because we all know that pharmacological factors are involved with aging. एक तो gastric pH is increased, there is delayed gastric emptying, एब्जॉर्प्शन सर्फेस भी कम हो जाती है तो एब्जॉर्ब भी कम होती है ड्रग. ठीक है. डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. देर इज़ इंक्रीज इन द बॉडी फैट एंड डिक्रीज इन द टोटल बॉडी वाटर. तो अगर बॉडी फैट बढ़ गया तो वॉल्यूम ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ लिपोफिलिक ड्रग्स इज इंक्रीज, तो उनका फ्री फ्रैक्शन कम हो जाता है. और अगर बॉडी वाटर कम हो जाता है जैसे कि जीरियाट्रिक पेशेंट्स में, सो देर इज़ इंक्रीज कंसनट्रेशन ऑफ द पोलर ड्रग्स. ठीक है. देन सेकेंडली देर इज डिक्रीज इन द एल्ब्यूमिन, LFTs कैन बी डिरेंज्ड. देर इज इंक्रीज इन द alpha 1 acid glycoprotein, and we know that acidic drugs bind with albumin, so there is increased free fraction, and there is decreased free fraction of the basic drugs because basic drugs bind with alpha 1 acid glycoprotein. Both hepatic metabolism is impaired as well as GFR is impaired, so biotransformation and elimination of the drugs is impaired. That can lead to delayed emergence from anesthesia. Okay, this is important. Okay. Then pharmacology of anesthetic agents in the elderly patients. As we can see, in all the agents, inhaled agents, induction agents, propofol, midazolam, morphine, brain sensitivity is increased and the clearance is decreased of all these drugs. ठीक है. So dose requirement सबका कम है. In the third column we can see. While these muscle relaxants, pancuronium, atracurium, उनके लिए brain sensitivity is not increased, but again clearance is decreased from the body. So again dose requirement सारी drugs का, all the drugs dose requirement is decreased. So what should be the choice of anesthetic agents? It should be short acting so that it does not accumulate and less lipid soluble, क्योंकि total body fat जो है वो बढ़ा हुआ है. ठीक है. So what to do? We can use propofol, short acting propofol, fentanyl अगर opioids यूज़ कर रहे हैं. अगर muscle relaxant यूज़ कर रहे हैं, you can use rocuronium, atracurium, and if volatile agents, we can go for Sevo or desflurane. Then pharmacodynamics is a major important thing. Clinical response is a result of alternation because sensitivity, as we have already seen, is increased. Target organ sensitivity increase हो जाती है. Exaggerated hemodynamic responses आते हैं because of aging heart and aging vasculature. Blunted reflex responses to hypoxia and hypercapnia, which we have already discussed, and slow clearance of the drugs. Then the main intraoperative problems is first of position, pressure source or pressure problems हो सकती हैं on dependent limbs, hypothermia, yes, orthopedic OTs are colder, so poor wound healing, infection and coagulopathy हो सकती है. We should use fluid warmers and blankets. Blood loss, this is very important. These surgeries, replacement surgeries में blood loss can range from half liter to 2 liters, but this is important that it doubles in the first 24 hours post-operatively because of intraoperative tourniquet. So before when we are using the tourniquet, the surgery is the surgical blood loss is obviously less, but as soon as it is deflated, the surgical blood loss is just doubled. Then coming to a very important problem which we encounter during cemented arthroplasties is BCIS, bone cement implantation syndrome. The culprit here is polymethyl methacrylate, जो cement use करते हैं हम, and clinical manifestations are patient will develop hypoxia, hypotension, unexpected loss of consciousness अगर हो गई, on table, cardiac arrest हो गया, या फिर post operative period में भी ये सारी चीज़ें हो सकती हैं. It can occur at the time of fixation on table या फिर afterwards also. Especially in tourniquet deflation पे बहुत होती हैं, जब पूरा systemic circulation में all the material is flushed in at suddenly, या फिर cemented bone surgery हो रही हो. ठीक है. Debris जो होता है इसमें, it consists of fat, marrow, cement and bone particles, aggregates of platelet and fibrin, and TEE helps in visualizing it in the right side of heart. Then etiology क्या है? What is the hypothesis? mainly है कि मोनोमर एब्जॉर्प्शन है और एम्बोलाइजेशन होता है. जो इंट्रामेडुलरी प्रेशर होता है वो बढ़ जाता है, फ्रॉम 35 to 50 होता है जो नॉर्मल इंट्रामेडुलरी प्रेशर होता है, लेकिन ड्यू टू द सीमेंट there occurs an exothermic reaction, so it expands and increases the intermedullary pressure and debris is forced into circulation. Histamine release is another theory and complement factors is another theory. Risk factors किसमें ज़्यादा होगा? ओल्ड एज, कोमोबिडिटीज़, पैथोलॉजिकल फ्रैक्चर्स हैं या इंटरट्रोकैंटिक फ्रैक्चर्स हैं. रिस्क रिडक्शन में सीमेंटेड करनी है कि अनसीमेंटेड करनी है, या वी हैव टू take पहले का take है ये before surgery. If there are risk factors, yes, we can go for uncemented. This surgeon has to decide. But we have to avoid nitrous and increase the oxygen concentration at the time of cementation. PSC, pulmonary artery catheter, TE can be used and good hemostasis should be maintained. Medullary lavage कर सकते हैं to decrease the clot formation. And venting the bone permits the air to escape from the end of the cement plug before the processes insertion. अगर सस्पेक्ट कर रहे हैं हाइपोक्सिया हाइपोटेंशन सस्पेक्ट कर रहे हैं पेशेंट को तो इंक्रीज द ऑक्सीजन कंसनट्रेशन टू 100% एंड कंटिन्यू इट इन द पोस्ट ऑपरेटिव पीरियड. और सिम्टोमेटिक ट्रीटमेंट देते हैं IV फ्लूइड्स, वेसोप्रेसर्स, आइनोट्रॉप्स एंड हेपारिन. Fat embolism is another problem which we encounter, that is fat in the circulation which produces the embolic phenomena, usually as a result of cerebral trauma, lipid infusions, burns, liposuction. They are not synonymous. Fat embolization कभी होता है, कम होता है, लेकिन जब वो सिंड्रोम की पिक्चर ले ले then we take it as a fat embolization syndrome. Incidence is less than 1% होता है, पर morbidity इसकी ज़्यादा होती है. ऑनसेट इज विद इन 24 to 72 hours, एसोसिएटेड विद लॉन्ग बोन एंड पेल्विक फ्रैक्चर, क्लोज फ्रैक्चर्स एंड मोबिलिटी एज आई टोल्ड यू इज मोर 10 to 20%. देन कमिंग टू द रिस्क फैक्टर्स ऑफ FES. रिस्क फैक्टर्स आर मेल्स में ज़्यादा होता है, यंग मेल्स, पोस्ट ट्रोमैटिक हाइपोवोलेमिया हो, हीमोस्टैसिस अगेन इज एन आंसर, कार्डियोपल्मोनरी रिजर्व उनका कम हो यानी कि कोमोबिडिटी से सफ़र कर रहे हों, मल्टीपल फ्रैक्चर्स हों, लोअर एक्सट्रीमिटी बायलेटरल फीमर हो, इंट्रामेडुलरी रीमिंग कर रहे हो तब, या फिर जॉइंट रिप्लेसमेंट विद हाई वॉल्यूम प्रोसेसेस. क्लिनिकल फीचर्स इसमें ट्राइड मिलता है, एक रैश मिलता है, पल्मोनरी डिस्फंक्शन में डिस्निया एंड एक्यूट रेस्पिरेटरी इनसफिशिएंसी एंड नॉन स्पेसिफिक न्यूरोलॉजिकल सिम्टम्स. चेस्ट एक्सरे में एज यूजुअली वी ऑल नो स्नो स्टॉर्म अपीयरेंस मिलती है. दिस इज द रैश और द पेटिकिए एंड दीज आर द पल्मोनरी एंड ऑर्गन इनसफिशिएंसी विच वी ऑलरेडी हैव डिस्कस्ड. देन गुड्स ने बोला था कि एक मेजर क्राइटेरिया होना चाहिए, एटलीस्ट वन, ऑफ रेस्पिरेटरी इनसफिशिएंसी या तो डिस्निया के फॉर्म में, सेरेब्रल इन्वॉल्वमेंट एंड अ रैश शुड बी देयर, वन मेजर क्राइटेरिया एंड एटलीस्ट 4 माइनर क्राइटेरिया शुड बी देयर टू इस्टेब्लिश द डायग्नोसिस. एंड लैब फाइंडिंग्स में माइक्रोग्लोबुलिन मिलेगा. फैट शॉनफील्ड फैट एम्बोलिज्म इंडेक्स बनाया फिर शॉनफील्ड ने. ही सेड दैट द पेटिकल रैश इज द मोस्ट पैथोग्नोमिक thing for diagnosis of FES and he gave a score of 5. Then coming diffuse alveolar infiltrates, 4 hypoxemia, 3 confusion 1 and a score of more than 5/16 is required for the diagnosis of FES. Then treatment and management क्या करना चाहिए, इसमें prophylaxis लेंगे, hemostasis maintain करेंगे, अर्ली ऑक्सीजनेशन, इमोबिलाइजेशन, अर्ली फिक्सेशन कर देंगे. सपोर्टिव ट्रीटमेंट है इसका भी, मेंटेनेंस ऑफ एडिक्वेट ऑक्सीजनेशन, वेंटिलेशन, हीमोडायनेमिक स्टेबिलिटी एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ एल्ब्यूमिन एंड ब्लड प्रोडक्ट्स. यूज ऑफ स्टेरॉइड्स इज कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल. We again will resort to prophylaxis of DVT. Heparin, low molecular weight dextran, it acts, and ethanol acts as a emulsifying agent. फैट को जो डिपॉजिट हो जाता है उनको इट एक्टिवेट्स द एंजाइम लाइपेस एंड दैट डिपॉजिट्स जो होते हैं फैट के उनको डिग्रेड कर देती है. डिक्रीजेज द स्लज एंड स्टैसिस एंड इम्प्रूव्स द परफ्यूरेशन. वीनस थ्रोम्बोएम्बोलिज्म इज अनदर प्रॉब्लम. क्या होता है DVT? इट इज़ अ क्लॉट इन द डीप वेन्स ऑफ द लेग्स एंड व्हेन दिस क्लॉट ट्रैवल्स इट लीड्स टू एन एम्बोलिक एपिसोड. पेन, स्वेलिंग, टेंडरनेस, डिस्कलरेशन ऑफ वेन्स के साथ आते हैं पेशेंट. रिस्क ऑफ DVT is increased by several factors but main 3 इसका ट्राइड होता है. सर्कुलेटरी स्टैसिस होनी चाहिए, एंडोथेलियल इंजरी होनी चाहिए एंड अ पेशेंट शुड बी इन अ हाइपरकोएगुलेबल स्टेट. अगर ये 3 फैक्टर्स होते हैं देन रिस्क इज इंक्रीज सेवरल फोल्ड. सो एज, इमोबिलिटी, ट्रॉमा एंड ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जरी तीनों हमारे पास इसमें जितने भी रिस्क फैक्टर्स हैं दे ऑल आर पर्टिनेंट टू ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जरीज. Patient is of increased age, he has been immobile, trauma हुआ उसको and he is posted for orthopedic surgery. What I am trying to say is these patients are at increased risk of DVT, several fold. Okay, and when this blood clot breaks loose, it travels to the lungs. There is clinical feature of shortness of breath, sharp pain, chest pain, occasionally hemoptysis, lightheadedness or collapse. अगर पेशेंट सिम्टोमेटिक PE का है, पल्मोनरी एम्बोलिज्म का है, तो देर इज़ अ वेरी हाई रिस्क ऑफ डेथ देन विद DVT अलोन. डायग्नोसिस: मोस्ट हॉस्पिटलाइज्ड पेशेंट्स विद DVT हैव नो साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स. हिस्ट्री, क्लिनिकल एग्जामिनेशन, ईसीजी, डी डायमर करा सकते हैं. अल्ट्रासाउंड इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टूल. चेस्ट सीटी करा सकते हैं. वीक्यू, पल्मोनरी एंजियोग्राम करा सकते हैं. देन व्हाट आर द कॉम्प्लिकेशंस? Yes, it can lead to prolonged hospitalization and a post-thrombotic syndrome. Long-term complications है. Patient can develop pulmonary hypertension. Risk of venous thromboembolism is very high in the hip and knee arthroplasty or hip fracture surgery. As we can see, 40 to 60 major cause of morbidity and is a major cause of morbidity and mortality in hospitalized for arthroplasty or orthopedic surgery. What I am trying to say. ठीक है. तो हमें क्या करना है? प्रोफाइलैक्सिस से स्टार्ट करते हैं. मस्ट बी गिवन टू ऑल एल्डरली पेशेंट अंडरगोइंग ऑर्थोपेडिक प्रोसीजर कन्फाइंड टू बेड मोर देन अ डे. ठीक है. देन मैकेनिकल प्रोफाइलैक्सिस में कंप्रेशन स्टॉकिंग्स यूज़ करने लगते हैं. इंटरमिटेंट न्यूमैटिक कंप्रेशन डिवाइस, दिस इज अ पिक्चर शोइंग, एंड आईवीसी फिल्टर्स. देन फार्माकोलॉजिकल एंटीप्लेटलेट शुरू करते हैं. लो डोज एस्पिरिन, वॉरफेरिन should be started preoperatively or evening after surgery. And ultrafraction heparin यूज़ कर सकते हैं 5000 units subcutaneously 8 hourly, but we have to monitor APTT for heparin. Low molecular heparin can be started 12 hours before surgery or 4 to 6 hours after surgery. 40 mg subcutaneous OD. Fondaparinux is a factor 10A inhibitor, a newer drug, 2.5 mg single dose subcutaneously. Direct thrombin inhibitors are now in use. Zymiligatrin and dabigatrin, 36 mg BD oral. Then NICE guidelines, National Institute of Clinical Excellence, they showed that anticoagulant prophylaxis and treatment of DVT के लिए they are promoting enoxaparin 30 mg every 12 hours. 1 mg per kilogram is the dose of enoxaparin, or dalteparin 120 units per kg every 12 hours, or tenaziparin 175 units per kg per day. So that is the drug of choice. It is recommended over ultrafraction heparin for initial therapy because it does not require closing of coagulation monitors, and it is efficient when started preoperatively, but risk of bleeding is again increased. It is continued for at least 10 days in low risk and extended up to 28 to 35 days in high risk, and we recommend a delay of 24 hours before CNB to ensure the normal hemostasis. देन एस्ट्रा की क्या गाइडलाइंस हैं? अमेरिकन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ फॉर रीजनल एनेस्थीसिया फॉर द यूज ऑफ एंटीकोएगुलेंट्स इन रीजनल एनेस्थीसिया. इन एंटीप्लेटलेट्स दे से दैट लो डोज एस्पिरिन और NSAIDs हैव नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन. Clopidogrel, ticlopridine, we stop 7 to 10 and 14 days respectively, and then we can continue 2 hours after epidural catheter removal. Tirofiban and eptifibatide have to be stopped 8 hours priorly. Apiximab we have to stop 1 to 2 days prior. ठीक है. देन लो मॉलिकुलर वेट हेपारिन एन इंटरवल ऑफ, अगेन दिस इज रिपीटिशन ऑफ 12 hours आफ्टर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ यूजुअल डोज एंड प्लेसमेंट ऑफ CNB. मतलब इफ़ यू हैव प्लानिंग फॉर CNB यू हैव टू स्टॉप लो मॉलिकुलर वेट हेपारिन 12 hours प्रायरली. अगर लार्ज डोज हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं मोर देन 1 mg per kilogram, तब हमको 24 hours पहले स्टॉप कर देनी पड़ेगी. ठीक है. अगर एपिड्यूरल कैथेटर रिमूवल हमें करना है तो 8 to 12 hours आफ्टर द लास्ट डोज ऑफ मॉलिकुलर हेपारिन एंड और 1 to 2 hours बिफोर द नेक्स्ट डोज. सो दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. Recommendations regarding the use of anticoagulants and regional anesthesia. Ultrafraction heparin, again subcutaneously, is not contraindicated, but IV if we are giving, we have to delay central actual blockade 2 to 4 hours after the last dose and monitor APTT. ठीक है. Warfarin blocks, this is a revision, it blocks the vitamin K dependent factors 2, 7, 9 and 10. So you have to discontinue 4 to 5 days before the CNB. और अगर पेशेंट वॉरफेरिन पे है तो वी कीप द INR between 2 to 3. Anticoagulant effects of warfarin may take 4 to 5 days and is unpredictable. Thrombolytics and fibrinolytics का no available data. Post-operative complications. So this is important. The decision to initiate rehabilitation depends on whether there is or any perioperative complication. Complication can be cardiac or respiratory. ठीक है. or a neurologic complication. Then post-operative cognitive dysfunction again is an important entity. शॉर्ट टर्म डिटोरेशन हो सकती है. पेशेंट को ज़रूरी नहीं है कि तुरंत ही हो. इट्स इंसिडेंस इज़ वेरी हाई, 25 to 50% है. इट कैन बी डिटेक्टेड डेज टू वीक्स आफ्टर सर्जरी एंड ड्यूरेशन ऑफ सेवरल वीक्स कैन बी देयर टू परमानेंट post-operative cognitive dysfunction. But this is important, this is not affected by general anesthesia or regional anesthesia approach. ठीक है, it is diagnosed by neuropsychological testing and this is more in patients which are suffering from old age, अल्कोहल ले रहे हों, पहले से कोई साइकोट्रॉपिक मेडिकेशन ले रहे हों, या फिर पेरी ऑपरेटिव हाइपोक्सीमिया, हाइपोटेंशन, एंटीकोलिनर्जिक्स, पोस्ट ऑप पेन के लिए ओपियोइड्स दे दिया हमने हेवी डोज. So prevention of POCD is prophylactic continuation of all the psychotropic medications, identifying the at-risk patient and maintaining proper sleep cycle. IV fluids and electrolytes का correction कर सकते हैं and we decrease the exposure to benzodiazepines, opioids to these patients and maintaining proper rheology of the blood. Post-op pain control is another problem. अगर हम post-op pain control नहीं करेंगे तो early rehabilitation will not be there. Okay, rehabilitation will be delayed and that can lead to POCD again. So post-operative management में oxygenation रखेंगे. Analgesia again I told you post-op pain control is a very important issue. It can be by PCA which is less frequent in elderly. Blocks दे सकते हैं, this is very important. With blocks which we will consider again. Intra-articular injection लगा सकते हैं. 10 to 15 ml of bupivacaine with opioids. Paracetamol can be given. NSAIDs should be used in caution, or we can use midazolam infusions. Fluid balance stringent monitoring should be there because again this is important. Blood loss may double after the release of tourniquet in the first 24 hours. Then total knee replacement issues. Technique. Knee is innervated by again a variety of nerves. Regional anesthesia is again the procedure of choice. Advantages there. Exposure to the risk of one anesthetic, one post-operative course of pain and reduced rehabilitation and earlier return to baseline function. ये तो इसका एडवांटेज है सिंगल सिटिंग बायलेटरल TKR का. बट डिसएडवांटेज क्या है बायलेटरल TKR में कि हायर इंसिडेंस ऑफ पोस्ट पेरी ऑपरेटिव कॉम्प्लिकेशंस कैन बी देयर. पेशेंट्स एक्सक्लूडेड कौन से रहते हैं सिंगल बायलेटरल TKR के लिए? एज मोर देन 75 ईयर्स, ASA क्लास 3, एक्टिव इस्कीमिक डिजीज़, अगेन कोमोबिलिटीज़ वाले पेशेंट जो होते हैं जिनको रीनल इंसफिशिएंसी होती है, मॉर्बिड ओबेसिटी होती है, लिवर डिजीज़ क्रॉनिक है, वो एक्सक्लूडेड होते हैं. दिस इज़ अगेन अ रिविजन ऑफ द नर्व्स विच आई थिंक वी शुड स्किप. वी ऑल नो शियाटिक नर्व ब्लॉक, ट्रांसग्लूटियल अप्रोच होती है इसकी. लाइन कैन बी ड्रॉन फ्रॉम द ग्रेटर ट्रोकैंटर टू द सुपीरियर लाइक स्पाइन एंड देन उससे हम मिड लाइन से नीचे 4 सेंटीमीटर लेते हैं. रूट वैल्यू इज इंपॉर्टेंट, L4 to S3. एंटीरियर अप्रोच अगेन दिस इज शोइंग. देन कमिंग टू अपर एक्सट्रीमिटी सर्जरी. अपर एक्सट्रीमिटी में ब्रेकियल प्लेक्सस इज द ब्रेड एंड बटर एट सेवरल पॉइंट्स. इट इज़ गिवन एंड इसको हम लोकेशन कैसे भी कर सकते हैं, पैरासिजिया से एलिसिट कर सकते हैं या फिर USG गाइडेड. Then bias block, a short note on bias is important. It is intravenous regional anesthesia for forearm and hand surgery. In this we first exsanguinate the limb by an Esmarch bandage and then we inflate 2 tourniquets. ठीक है, 30 to 50 ml of local anesthetic is injected in the hand vein. Onset of anesthesia is after 5 to 10 minutes. Then tourniquet pain develops, so distal tourniquet is inflated and proximal is deflated. The technique is limited again to less than 1 hour procedure. Brachial plexus is again you should know it is formed by the anterior primary rami of C5 and T1 and we block either the roots interscaling or the trunks, roots, trunks, cords and divisions. And we all know supraclavicular is the spinal of the arm. It is the most important block which we give for upper extremity. Then coming to tourniquet. अभी हमने bias block में tourniquet का mention किया. So what is a tourniquet? It is a compressing device which is applied over the extremity to give a better operating condition or a bloodless field. And depends on the age of the patient, skin condition, उसका BP कितना है. जब भी tourniquet inflate करते हैं the orthopedician always asks what's the blood pressure. So it has a relation with the blood pressure and shape and size of the extremity. Usually tourniquet cuff जो होता है it is applied over limited padding and width of the inflated cuff should be more than half of the limb diameter. Before inflation हम पूरे उसको पूरा limb को elevate कर लेते हैं by an elastic bandage, जितना पूरा venous return उसका है वो exsanguinate हो जाए. What is LOP? LOP is limb occlusion pressure. Usually it is determined by gradually increasing the tourniquet pressure until arterial blood flow distal to the cuff is interrupted. Upper limb में usually is 250 millimeters of mercury and lower limb में 350 millimeters of mercury. So occlusion time is kept to a safe limit of 1 to 3 hours. What are the contraindications? सिकल सेल डिजीज, पेरिफेरल वैस्कुलर डिजीज, क्रश इंजरी, न्यूरोपैथीज, पल्मोनरी एम्बोलिज्म में नहीं लगाएंगे टोनिकेट. लोकल इफेक्ट्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर टोनिकेट इन्फ्लेशन. प्रॉब्लम्स इज देयर. मसल चेंज होता है टोनिकेट से. कंप्रेशन एंड इस्कीमिया ऑफ मसल ओवर टाइम में देयर इज सेलुलर हाइपोक्सिया एंड एसिडोसिस दैट डेवलप्स. So tissue edema can be there. Hemodynamic responses में inflation में during the exsanguination of limb there is increase in the venous and arterial pressure, increase in heart rate, mean arterial pressure, pulmonary arterial pressure in poor patients, and systemic prolonged inflation can lead to systemic hypertension which develops. So it is not used by not reduced by deepening anesthesia, so we have to use vasodilators. Deflation में इसका ही reverse happens and there is pooling of blood in the extremities. I told you again there is post tourniquet bleeding. Then a washout of acidic byproducts occurs from the ischemic limb from the systemic circulation after deflation. So there is increased lactic acid, potassium ion, PaCO2 बढ़ जाएगा and there will be decrease in the PaCO2. Transient metabolic acidosis leads to increase in the EtCO2 and changes are reversed within 30 minutes of deflation. These are the metabolic responses. The neurologic responses में there is a combination of nerve ischemia and compression. Direct pressure of the nerves beneath the tourniquet leads to the evidence of nerve injury. Upper limb में radial nerve, lower limb में common peroneal nerve. When tourniquet inflation is more than 2 hours, it can lead to postoperative neuropraxia. This is very important. Tourniquet pain correlates with the degree of cellular acidosis, and this is you should know that this tourniquet pain is not relieved by narcotics, nerve blocks or EMLA. What we have to do is we have to deflate the tourniquet for 10 to 15 minutes and re-inflate it. Temperature in inflation increases the core body temperature, deflation decreases the core body temperature. The phenomena of redistributive hypothermia. Post tourniquet bleeding, I have already told you. When the tourniquet is deflated, there is increase in the fibrinolytic activity and post tourniquet bleeding ensues. Shoulder replacement surgery में important standard monitors लगाएंगे, large bore IV access लेंगे and anesthetic technique में usually GA use करेंगे और interscalene approach to brachial plexus. This is the breech chair position, sitting position. इसमें एक्सेस टू एयरवे इज डिफिकल्ट एंड इंट्राऑपरेटिव प्रॉब्लम्स में सडन ड्रॉप इन द ब्लड प्रेशर इज देयर, ब्रैडीकार्डिया, रिस्क ऑफ एयर एम्बोलिज्म इज मोर. रिविजन एर्थोप्लास्टी में मेन इंट्राऑपरेटिव प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हैं कि आपको ब्लड लॉस ज़्यादा होगा इसमें, है ना. इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द टाइप ऑफ द प्रीवियस प्रोसेसेस दैट हैड बीन यूज्ड एंड द नंबर ऑफ कंपोनेंट्स विच द सर्जन हैज़ टू रिवाइज. Pre-donation of autologous blood when surgery is treated with more blood loss is the answer. आपको पहले से ब्लड लॉस एंटिसिपेट करके चलना है एंड यू कैन आस्क द पेशेंट टू प्री डोनेट द ब्लड. Acute normovolumic hemodilution. What is this entity? It is a technique in which whole blood is removed through phlebotomies while circulating blood volumes maintained by a cellular fluid like crystalloids. And this eliminates the need for allogenic blood transfusion. This blood does not require any testing क्योंकि आपका खुद का blood है ये, and it decreases the reaction and infections. Okay, so this blood can be used. Arthroscopy is another surgery, OPD procedure है. Usually GA is safe, but if depends on the again skill of the surgeon. अगर ज़्यादा टाइम है तो you can go easily for central nerve action blockade or peripheral nerve blocks. Spine surgery, another entity. Usually orthopedicians perform it with the neurologists, neurosurgeons, and it is responsibility of the anesthetic to discuss preoperatively the stability of the cervical spine with the surgeon in any spine injury patient. Okay, indications usually trauma or reconstructive laminotomy, disectomy. Okay, neurological assessment should be documented on before ensuing for surgery. Avoid further deterioration during intubation. Positioning, hypotensive anesthesia use करते हैं. Okay, usually these patients are at increased risk of aspiration. Level of injury and time lapsed should be documented. प्रोन पोजीशन की प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं सारी. हमको पहले सुपाइन पोजीशन में भी इंट्यूबेट एंड देन टर्न प्रोन एज अ सिंगल यूनिट. नेक इज केप्ट इन न्यूट्रल पोजीशन एज यू कैन सी इन द पिक्चर एंड हेड इज टर्न टू द साइड, आर्म्स एट द साइड एंड चेस्ट. यहाँ पर रोल्स, एब्डोमेन शुड बी फ्री, पैरेलल रोल्स लगाते हैं. मॉनिटर डिस्कनेक्ट हो सकते हैं, ईटी ट्यूब किंक हो सकती है. एक्सेसिव फ्लेक्शन ऑफ द cervical spine can lead to kinking of the vertebral artery. Then this is important that epidural venous plexus pressure बढ़ सकता है, which can lead to bleeding at the operative site, increased bleeding. This is important. And again, nerve compression injuries. So wake up test is performed. This is performed by lightning anesthesia during the procedure and observing the patient's ability to move to command. Evaluates the functional motor integrity of the whole. देन एनेस्थीसिया रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या होते हैं इसमें वेकअप टेस्ट करने के लिए? इट शुड बी ईजी, रैपिड टू इंस्टीट्यूट, क्विकली एंटागनाइज्ड, अवेकनिंग शुड बी स्मूथ और पेशेंट शुड नॉट हैव अ रिकॉल ड्यूरिंग द टेस्ट. एनेस्थेटिक टेक्निक अगर हमें वेकअप टेस्ट कराना है तो वी कैन यूज अ वोलेटाइल एजेंट और ऑन मिडाजोलम, प्रोपोफॉल इन्फ्यूजन्स और अ रेमिफेंटेनल बेस्ड एनेस्थीसिया. Disadvantage again, there is a risk of falling from the table or extubation, and it does not assess the sensory pathway. So to conclude, we can convert the challenges into good outcomes if we have a better understanding of the comorbidities the patient is suffering, use a safe anesthetic technique. This is important, site specific analgesia is now the answer. मल्टीमोडल आप यूज़ कर सकते हो फ्रॉम लोकल क्रीम्स टू ब्लॉक्स पोस्ट ऑपरेटिव पेन के लिए. बेटर मॉनिटरिंग एंड this can lead to early institution of physiotherapy and early ambulation. So thank you. Stop.